Facilitation centers for postal ballots. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guideline of ECI. In case of any variance in this training material, the Commission guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to cite the Rule 18A of Conduction of Election Rule 1961. Explain the arrangements, time and duration of working of Facilitation Center. Understand the roles and responsibilities of polling officers. Summarize the process of collection of polled postal ballots. Know the instructions issued by the Commission regarding postal ballots. Familiarize with the pro forma formats related to postal voting at Facilitation Center. Rule 18A of Conduction of Election Rule 1961 says, voters on election duty to cast his vote at Facilitation Center. Such voter shall receive their postal ballot, record their vote, and return the same at the Facilitation Center as specified by the returning officer. Database of persons to be issued postal ballots should be prepared well in advance. In case of police personnel, including home guards, the SP shall appoint a nodal officer to coordinate all activities related to facilitating the postal ballots. In case of drivers, conductors, cleaners, and other persons appointed on specific election-related duties by the police authorities, the nodal officer shall coordinate postal ballot facilities to them also. Postal ballot facilities shall be given to all persons on election duty, DO, Deputy DO, RO, ARO, polling parties, sector officers, polling agents, micro-observers, security personnel, drivers, conductors, cleaners, etc. All the electors on election duty shall cast their votes at the facilitation centers and not in any other manner. The voting shall be done in a completely transparent manner. The district election officer shall provide necessary logistics for setting up the facilitation centers. The facilitation centers shall be set up at the training venue and at the office of the returning officer. One facilitation center shall be set up at the training center for each of the assembly constituencies comprised in their district. For electors on election duty from other districts, one additional facilitation center shall be provided at the training venue. Ideally, all the facilitation centers of the assembly constituencies of a district should be located at the same venue. However, if that is not possible due to distance, the facilitation center of an assembly constituency located in a far area can be set up at the training venue in the headquarters of the assembly constituency. One more facilitation center shall be set up at returning officer's office. The electors on election duty, other than those in polling parties, such as police personnel, videographers, cleaners, and other staff engaged in the election duty, can cast their vote at this FC. The facilitation center at the returning officer office shall function from P-3 day to P-1 day during normal office hour. Where deployment of police personnel for election duty is done prior to P-3 day, the returning officer may set up the facilitation center at his office accordingly to facilitate postal voting by the police personnel deployed on election duty. The returning officer shall appoint an officer of the level of Group B or above as in charge of the facilitation center for conducting postal balloting. This officer shall be assisted by the 3 officials in conducting voting through postal ballot at the facilitation center. The returning officer may assign the responsibility of supervision of logistic and postal voting to a dedicated ARO. Time and duration of working. At the training venue, facilitation center shall function during training hour. At returning officer's office, They shall function from P minus 3 day to P minus 1 day during normal office hour. The returning officer will send the postal ballots with related forms, envelopes, and other related material together with the list of voters on election duty who have been issued postal ballot to the Facilitation Center through ARO. If the Facilitation Center is outside the jurisdiction of the returning officer who issues the postal ballot, but within the district, then also he will send it directly to the ARO concern of the Facilitation Center instead of routing it through the DO. The returning officer shall maintain a record containing serial number, part number, and AC number of all such electors on election duty to whom postal ballot have been issued. The list of electors can be shared with the candidate if they desired. However, the list should not contain serial number of the postal ballot issued. Before handing over the postal ballot and other forms to the elector, make sure that the field in the Form 13B is duly filled. The duty of filling serial number of postal ballot in the Form 13B should be assigned to a staff of the office of the returning officer. The voting compartments at the Facilitation Center shall be similar to what were set up at the polling station. Arrangement of copy of electoral roll, all necessary formats, pen, glue, gum, etc. shall be made available at the Facilitation Center. For attestation on the declaration and signature of the elector in Form 13A, Group A or Group B officer may be assigned a duty at the FC. The attesting officer should append full signature with a date and write in hand or put a stamp showing his designation and office address. Duties of the polling officers. First polling officer. He will be in charge of the list of voters on election duty as provided by the returning officers and responsible for identification of the electors. Verify the identity of the electors based on their pick card or any other photo ID card and obtain the signature of the elector in a prescribed register. The format of the register is shown on the screen. Second polling officer. Second polling officer will be in charge of the inedible ink. After identification and signature of the elector in the register, the second officer shall apply inedible ink in the left hand forefinger of such elector. Third polling officer. Third polling officer will be in charge of the postal ballots and will issue postal ballots to the electors on election duty. Sealing of the registers of voters. After voting is over, the register should be sealed and kept along with other statutory documents as mentioned in the Rule 93 of Conduction of Election Rule 1961. Copy of the register may be given to the candidates who request for it. Casting of postal ballot. After receiving the postal ballot, the elector should proceed to the voting compartment and mark his choice. Elector shall write the serial number of the postal ballot, if not already filled up, in the declaration Form 13A and on the inner envelope, that is Form 13B, in which the polled postal ballot is kept. Now the declaration and sealed envelope, that is Form 13B, shall be kept in the outer envelope, that is Form 13C. After sealing of envelope in the Form 13C, the same shall be dropped in a drop box kept at the Facilitation Center. A large sheet trunk with one opening at the top shall be used as a ballot box at the Facilitation Center. Concerned ARO shall be in charge of this ballot box. Before the casting of postal ballots, the empty ballot box will be opened and shown to all present. The ballot box will then be sealed by the in charge of the Facilitation Center. After all electors have casted their votes, the envelopes containing postal ballots shall be segregated AC-wise and be sent to the returning officer of the assembly constituency concerned. After each day of voting is over, the polled postal ballots received from the facilitation center shall be kept in a large cotton bag with the name of the assembly constituency, date of polling, and number of postal ballots polled written on the bag. The bag shall be deposited with the returning officer for each day. There shall be separate bags for different days. The returning officer shall maintain date-wise and facilitation-wise record of the total number of postal ballots received by them. Information to representatives of the candidates or the political parties. All recognized political parties will be informed in writing the venue, schedule, and details about the facilitation center. They shall be allowed to send their representatives to witness the process of voting at the facilitation center. No person shall be allowed to interfere in the voting process. And in case of any interference, the in charge of the facilitation center can order such a person to leave the premises immediately. Videography of the voting process. The entire process of voting at the facilitation center shall be videographed, but the secrecy of voting have to be maintained. Collection of polled postal ballots. After all the postal ballots for the day have been casted, the drop box will be opened by the in charge of the facilitation center in the presence of the representatives of the political parties and candidates. All the postal ballots will be taken out of the box and the empty box will be shown to them. The total number of postal ballot envelopes received for each parliamentary constituency or the assembly constituency will be entered in the prescribed format. Representatives of the political parties or the candidates present will be requested to put their signatures and will be given a copy of this format. The format 1 is shown on the screen. All the postal ballot envelopes for the AC will be kept in a large envelope for the cotton bag meant for that assembly constituency. The number and name of the assembly constituency, name of the facilitation center, the date of voting, and the number of postal ballots, that is, Form 13C, contained therein will be clearly written on this envelope or the cotton bag. This large envelope or the cotton bag will then be sent to the returning officer of the concerned AC, along with a copy of the format 1 through a special messenger appointed for this person, not below the rank of the deputy tehsildar. This exercise shall be done on each day of voting at the facilitation center. All such big envelopes or the cotton bags containing polled postal ballots and related papers shall be kept under the custody of the returning officer concerned. Storage of polled postal ballots. Returning officer of concerned assembly constituency shall keep the envelope containing postal ballots along with a copy of format 1 in a special strong room made specially for this purpose. Returning officer shall send a copy of the format 1 to the district election officer. On the basis of the information given in format 1, the district election officer of every district will compile the return in format 2 for his district till the facilitation of postal ballot is over in the district. A copy of this return will be sent every day to the chief electoral officer of the state. The format 2 is shown on the screen. Chief Electoral Officer of the state will compile the return of the entire state in format 3 and send it to the commission phase-wise immediately after completion of postal ballot at all the facilitation centers. CO will also send a copy of the return in format 3 to all the recognized political parties. The format 3 is shown on the screen. Orientation of electors. The Commission directs that the entire procedure of casting of votes through postal ballot shall be explained by the returning officer or the assistant returning officer thoroughly to the voters on election duty of all categories, so that there is no error in casting of votes by them. In this educational video, we have learned about the postal ballot at the Facilitation Center. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos on rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.